Good morning. Our first issue is decentralized vaccination policy or decentralized vaccine policy with regard to COVID 19. Recently, there's a huge criticism regarding the vaccine shortfalls and then center giving the responsibility of procurement to the states. But National Empowered Group on Vaccine Administration and its chairman says that states themselves requested for this decentralized policy. Though there are shortfalls in the vaccine manufacturing and procurement, states have requested the central government for this. Health is a state subject. So, first of all, states should build the capacities to distribute the vaccines. And it is said that vaccine wastage is there in many of the states. Vaccine wastage means once we open that vaccine vial, it will be functional for some time only, for few days only. After that, it is considered as a wastage. So handling, etc., there is a wastage, increasing wastage. That is one of the complaints of the central government. And this particular empowered group, which monitors the vaccine administration, says that apart from Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute of India, there are three PSUs. Halfkind Biopharmaceutical Corporation, which is owned by Maharashtra government, and Indian Immunologicals Limited, Bharat Immunologicals and Biologicals Limited, owned by central government. These three are producing the vaccines. By July and August, these also will contribute for the vaccine production. Apart from these domestic manufacturers, government is also trying to get into contract with various foreign manufacturers such as Pfizer. But Pfizer is requesting for indemnity clause. Indemnity clause means freedom from any liability in case of any damages. That's a contentious issue. Central government and Pfizer are discussing on this. Next issue is repatriation of Mehul Choksi. Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi are declared as fugitive economic offenders under Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. And they are the main accused people in PNB, Punjab National Bank scam. Through the way of fraudulent LOUs, they have got more than 13,000 crores of money into their accounts. As of now, Nirav Modi is located in London and Mehul Choksi is located in Antigua and Barbuda. The Indian government is requesting for their repatriation. Already yellow notice from Interpol, International Police. Yellow notice corresponds to missing persons. There are many notices issued by the Interpol, including red, yellow, green, etc. This one is for Mehul Choksi. Then they have identified his location and they are going to repatriate. This Antigua and Barbuda is going to repatriate this person to India. Next issue is IT rules. Twitter, WhatsApp, these have accused of the government on infringing upon the rights of the citizens. Government is saying that these are threatening the sovereignty of India. Twitter says the compliance officers and criminal liability of him is an issue. Proactive monitoring of tweets of the consumers and then blanket authority of the government in seeking the information of the consumers or information of the social media users are the concerns. They say that this is going to impact the Article 19, that is freedom of speech and expression, and Article 21, right to life and liberty, in which right to privacy, which is declared as fundamental right under case Puttaswamy case, are infringed upon. But the government says that we have the sovereign authority to make our own laws. These are private companies. They should comply with the rules of the government. And they say that security and other individuals' privacy is also important. Curbing fake news is important. That's why government has brought in these IT rules. That's the stand of the government. Now this case went to the courts. Let's see how they will decide upon. Next issue is aftermath of cyclone, that is rebuilding the country and the states which got affected through the cyclones. Coastal vulnerability is increasing in the recent years because of global warming, climate change. There are heavy losses, though we are taking measures to evacuate the people Losses in terms of economy and ecology are huge. Now, after this disaster, we have to build our places better, build the infrastructure better. More green spaces should be planned. Community resilience by way of awareness, by way of sustainable livelihoods should be the priority. Disaster insurance to reduce the losses. Fair compensation to all the people who got affected in these disasters is important. Data, maintaining a data of compensation on who received the compensation, who are the beneficiaries of compensation, analyzing it, comparing it is of utmost necessity. Next issue is regulations of union territories. In the union territories, regulations are formed by the administrator. Administrator is appointed by the President of India. Recently, Draft Lakshadweep Development Authority Regulations 2021, these are released. It has imposed a fine on those who eat beef, and there are certain regulations under this particular one. These regulations came under heavy criticism. Once these regulations are formed by the administrator, these have to be sent to the Home Ministry because Home Ministry is the nodal agency for union territories. Once the Home Ministry approves it, it goes for cabinet approval. There is no need of introducing them in the form of bill like other union territories such as Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. The next issue is viability of two-state solution with regard to Israel and Palestine. Israel says we are fighting against the terror of Hamas, terror. And Palestine says we are fighting against the occupation, illegal occupation of our territory by some other forces. This is the historical problem. United Nations General Assembly and others proposed for two-state solution wherein Palestinian territories, Israeli territories, they will be divided and these two coexist peacefully. That's the point of that. And Oslo Accords of 1993 and 1995 also recognize them. But then the ground reality is different. The territory is fragmented, Palestinian territories are fragmented. There's more and more settlements from the Israel even after the Oslo Accords. Thousands and millions of refugees are there. Refugee repatriation is not discussed over. Integration of Palestinians, because in Israel, present-day Israel also, there are Palestinians who are living there. How do we integrate? These are all the issues with regard to two-state solution. Next issue is vaccine hesitancy. People are not ready to get the vaccination. That's called vaccine hesitancy. Vaccination is the only way for getting herd immunity. Without vaccination, as the virus can spread faster, it can lead to more and more dangerous mutations. So vaccination is important now. But then vaccine hesitancy is also coexists because of lack of awareness to the benefits, fears on inaccurate information, lack of access to the vaccines, civil liberty concepts, cost, cultural issues, fake news, disinformation. These are all the issues. Now the solution is persuading the people, bringing that awareness among the people. Next issue is Rawandan Genocide. In 1994, there's a huge conflict broke out between Hutu. Hutu is a majority community in Rwanda. Tutsi is minority community in Rwanda. Traditionally, Tutsi community, though it's minority, it was holding power, and Hutu started rebelling against them. In 1994, huge scale atrocities happened over Tutsi community by the Hutus, and France sided with Hutus, and France didn't do much to curb these atrocities. France didn't do the atrocities, but France, though in a power position, didn't do much to stop these genocide. That's why it is criticized as a reason for this genocide. Thank you very much. All the very best.